Hello and welcome to our December 2020 Little Box of Crochet, a beautiful Tunisian cowl designed for us by Natalie Thomas of Detroit Knots. Now, if you know Natalie's work, you'll know she is famed for some very, very beautiful cowls. So we're very lucky to have her along with us this month, designing something soft and snuggly and lovely to see out 2020. We're working with 3 Rowan yarns, all with alpaca content. We start with our sort of stalwart all the way through the project. If you look, you can see we've got the vertical line going all the way up in the Alpaca Soft, which is this beautiful brick colour, and it does live up to its name. It is soft, springy, nice and squashy, comfortable against the skin. It's an alpaca and virgin wool mix. In lovely brick colour, and we will be holding that singly throughout, so just working with one strand of that. These 2 are Alpaca Classic, and they are in Sun Valley and Salmon, and we'll just refer to them as yellow and pink because I will forget their names instantly. And the Alpaca Classic is an alpaca and cotton mix, so you still get that very lovely, if I hold that right up to the camera, you can see you've got that sort of fluffy halo. Gorgeous colours there as well. Again, very soft next to the skin, and it's got a good bit of structure in it thanks to the cotton there. So we will be working in a kind of colour fade with these. As you can see, we sort of start here at the pink, bring in the yellow, then go fade out the pink. So it's totally yellow, then bring the pink back in, and all the way through to solid pink again at the end. So working a little fade, which is lovely. And we're achieving that by holding 2 strands of yarn together of these colours. So in our booklet, we recommend that you wind off 2 balls of each of these colours. So 2 balls of the yellow, 2 balls of the pink, because sometimes you're going to be holding 2 strands of pink together. Sometimes you'll be holding 2 strands of yellow together, and sometimes you will be holding one of each together. And trust me, it's just helpful to have 2 smaller balls of each colour available as you work. A little note on the hook. Now, the hook looks a little bit different, I think, to what you are used to working with if you've not encountered Tunisian before, in that it has got this cable attached. If I unfurl the cable, you can sort of see it's a longish cable, and we've got a little bead on the end here, and as we start working it will become apparent kind of how this works, but this is a lovely C-knits hook. You'll see if I turn the hook, the cable stays static, so that's really helpful because you can sort of work nice and flexibly without everything getting in a bit of a muddle. With Tunisian, you're not just working 1 stitch on the hook at a time, you work in rows of stitches, so you're going to have lots and lots of stitches, hence needing this cable to keep them all on, and hence needing this little bead on the end to stop them falling off the end. So don't worry too much about it at the moment, we'll show you as we go along, but that's why your hook looks a little bit different. 6mm hook, we're working sort of slightly larger hook when we work Tunisian, so that's why it's sort of chunkier than you might expect for this project. As we work through the videos, we will give you all the stitches and techniques that you're going to need to make the cowl. And although it may look on first look, it might look a little bit complicated, in actual fact, there are very few stitches needed to achieve the cowl. So in the beginning of the booklet, you will see the sort of Tunisian techniques overview, and we will cover all of those things, but we're going to cover them as we work through the project to kind of get you started. So they're on hours and hours of videos. If you wanted to watch them all sort of start to finish before you make a start, that's fine. But equally, we've structured them so you can work along with us and make a start on your cowl and sort of learn as you go, if that is more beneficial to you as well. A little note on tension or gauge, stitch gauge, and size of the project. Now, we started with 75 chain to create the cowl, which if I just pop up a picture here of me wearing it, you'll see it's sort of quite close to the neck, almost sort of emulates a roll neck top, and it's, you know, the dimensions are in the booklet, but we have quite a bit of yarn left over at the end of making this one. So if you wanted to add a couple of inches of length, if you fancied a sort of a looser fit cowl, have a look at what's left over. I think we've got sort of 6 grams, I think from memory, of this left, 14 of this, and so sort of enough of the brick that you could, like I said, add a couple of inches on it to make it slightly longer if you wanted to, or add extra rows in if you prefer, or you know, there is yarn left over. You could even make matching mitts if you wanted to, but just be aware of your tension as you work. There's oceans of yarn available to make it in the size that we've made. If you want to make it bigger, it's down to you to do a bit of maths, I think, to see how you'd like it to fit. A little bit of housekeeping before we start. I'm actually going to be demonstrating with the Alpaca Soft, but also just with a sort of a sock yarn in pink rather than the Alpaca Classic in pink, only because under the lights this sheds a lot of fibre and it gets on my background and annoys me tremendously. So I just want a smooth yarn, just so it doesn't distract from techniques or anything like that. So that's why you'll see that yarn pop up in the videos.